Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Here again with you with the fourth presentation done by our friend Nur Ilya Sakina. So we'll be reviewing her and start now.
And Assalamualaikum. I, Nur Ilya Sakina binti Azhar, an architecture student from University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM. I am here to present you a new study part design that was also a project from my final semester one in USIM. This studio part will work for an architecture student as a personal space and also to maintain studio motivation and desire to study well in university. And as it written in the slide, it's a work as a portable studio which can move around, and it was meant for architecture student in for the class use, and it is also a personal space for students to have.
Okay, since we have been already introduced about 3 times to the studio pod, so
or you can just read the slide and then just move on.
yeah, yes. Okay, now all of us know.
Yeah, I think this presentation because she showing the body language.
Yes, yes. I think since the intro, it's kind of her talk is appealing. Her body language, she shows her voice tone, she shows excitement. But sorry, Ilya Sakina. Yeah, the duration is
This
quite
kind of
long.
video that we see.
Yes, right, right.
Well, apart from that, I made it to be big
Very
enough.
good.
Can this
Yeah.
Apa?
No, I said very good. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's hear about her issue.
more necessaries such as a charger port for my phone and laptop, and water heater for me to drink
Oh,
coffee,
nice.
probably a built-in wall can stay cool when I bring this part outside on the hot weather, right? So, a small couch will
Reactions are
Ah!
different.
and I would like to put my pillow. The next issue is I need it to be safe enough for the new
She's
normal.
moving and enjoy the presentation.
Sorry?
Wait.
She's I think she's enjoy the presentation because
Yes,
she's
yes.
always smiling.
Right, yes. Don't be shy, Ilya. All
Very
right.
shy now.
I don't
Now,
want this
now I'm being judged by
window
life.
distance,
Life.
distance enough for the social distancing. I don't want it to be a hindrance for me to interact with others. Like it's a shell for me to shut in myself. No, I don't want that. I
And
want
I
to.
can sit still.
It,
Sit still.
I feel quite nervous because you like to go back and forth.
Yay.
Excited.
and practically this part is not a bedroom for me. So that's it. But it might, even though it's not a bedroom for me, it's a second home to me.
Oh, that's good.
The translation of the ayat in the slide is fight in the way of Allah those who fight against you but do transgress. Indeed, Allah do not like transgressor. In the verse 190 of Surah Al-Baqarah in Quran, Allah has mentioned to us we can have a self-defense to counter the offense that we receive, but do not overboard. The best defense is a good offense, but defense can also become as an offense. But it would be better if we could avoid the fight in the first place. Or we could, have you heard about the strongest is the one that can survive until the end? So it means you want to survive without persistence. So you need persistence. And in order to have persistence, you need to have a way to protect yourself so that you could survive in the meantime. And probably survive longer. In this new era which COVID has invaded our peace, don't you think we ought to do something about it? Right. defense we can do against COVID. Think about it.
Nice, nice. I actually
Therefore,
like the twist here. When I saw the necklace study, I was like, so what does have fighting to do here? You know, like, what is the relation? But I really like her point, and I think Ilya, you would make a great teacher. Like, it's so lovely.
No.
Deliver the
Thank
points.
you.
Yeah, like
This is so
truly
bad.
speaking.
You
She
know,
very energetic.
the secret of making this video, there's text. there's,
Dude,
there's text in front of me.
Yeah. Okay,
That's cute.
let's proceed with your idea.
against COVID. Think about it. Therefore, here I go making Hogo as my concept for my studio board. Is correlated to the Nakli study before. Hogo is a Japanese word means protection. Well, I like Japanese culture, so I would prefer to instill the element that I like while designing. Protect means to keep safe from harm or injury. And in our context nowadays, in a peace country like Malaysia, we didn't have that much threat to us, but the threat is still there. And what is the threat? First, okay, we have the devil's temptation, especially for me. I offered my wandering somewhere during the lecture because I couldn't keep myself uh, stay focused. I'm sorry. Why
honest.
Expression
is
here.
that? Right.
It's honest.
Yeah.
So I did blame the devil's whispering that keep make me do things that I like, such as playing my phone or sleeping in class or listening to something else, or when I have something needed to be done up, except need to be done immediately, and I need to submit, especially assignment on time. I keep putting it off till later because the shaitan
Procrastination,
said to me, "It's
as
okay
we
to
all
give in.
do.
It's okay to wait. Your desire after." That is for me. I don't know about about others. I see it's very harmful for my mind and soul because I can't stay being this way. I can't. I should move on.
Yeah.
My bright
Mm.
pictures, they won't come to me. It's very crucial to me. So the environment is
I
what
like
matters.
one thing, and I have to comment on this. The emotions that she actually put, like, I like how she's some students, it's like they're reading a text, but for her, it's like she's speaking her mind, she's speaking her heart, which is really awesome. Yeah.
Thanks. Let's keep.
Love feature will wash away all the negativity I had inside me. It also a way for me to change for a better person. Space also makes people feel right. Okay, secondly, this threat is quite dangerous as it could harm my life and health. It is known as the COVID-19. Right, the COVID-19 has been affected our life, and so the best defense for this is social distancing. So to apply this in class, we also need to have a space at least 1 meter from each other. Remember, COVID-19 is dangerous. It could bring you to death. And when you're
Okay.
especially this week,
This is
so
you motivate people, Ilya.
You tell us
Immediate,
about social distancing. Okay.
immediately death. Okay, let's proceed.
I think
this
I'm
study
suffering, please.
quarantine room sort of, but we can still communicate with each other in a safe environment. It means we did not close off, but it's still reachable. Third is a harm from enemy or human or in some form of like bully for the school context. Since this studio board is meant for a personal use, means which means also one person use, two person would likely not be able to fit in it. It can be used as a hideout or a shieldment when you make enemies with classmates, but please don't. The enemy won't be able to reach you because it's a small space which would not be possible for two-person to fit in. So the fourth is harm from the weather. It won't be able to cover you from the rain, but at least it could cover you from the hot weather or the sunlight when you bring the studio part outside, so you won't die from the heat stroke. One last thing, we need to be aware of the small yet unseen creature called microorganisms. They are so small and tiny, but if you do not pay attention to it, one day you will be slapped in the face back. And also, we need to take a special precaution about this because I care about cleanliness. I'm quite allergic to dust, or or else I'll keep sneezing in my class and my eyes to read. So the design need to be easy to clean, so I could keep a healthy environment. I think that's all. We move on to ideation. My ideation
Oh.
is inspired from a mammal known as armadillo. In Malay, we call it as tergiling. In case you don't know, why did I choose armadillo as an ideation? Well, first, fun fact is armadillo is the only one mammal using a shell.
Interesting.
There are many other classes that use shells like turtles, which is reptile, or snail, which is mollusks. But for mammal, there is only one creature who had them, and which is none other than armadillo. You might find pangolin is similar to armadillo,
I
but
don't know
it's
what that
actually
is,
not.
but
It's actually not. Pangolin in Malay is also called tenggiling. It has the same name, so I don't think Malay can recognize which one is it. But it's true. They are similar, but they are not the same. Pangolin may also be a mammal. They are a mammal, but what different is they didn't wear a shell. What they have is actually a hard scale. See, on the uh, is armadillo means as a little armored one in Spanish. They once had shocked the world saying that their shell is a bulletproof, but actually when the scientists discovered it's not. And in human terms, the word armor means the metal covering the former worn to protect the body, usually used by the military, or hurt a fierce knight in the shiny armor. These terms might also often heard in such in games, Dota and PUBG. And as the name armament is intended to deflect or diffuse damaging forces, which is really related to our nuclear study for self-defense. Okay,
I
it's
got new
also related
information today.
to my concept, which is next is I want to say next, as I said earlier, I prefer design which is not dull and boring. And I find the shape of armadillo as fun because it can transform into a ball when they want to go down the hill. They will slide down or hide from the predators so that um, they will have prevention to save their life. And armadillo have layered bands on their body that allow them to move, and while being under hard shell, their band is up for 9 bands for a mature armadillo. Another fun fact is the third fact is their shell is actually made up from their bone cells. It was also their skin. They can't change the shell like some snail or sea crabs, but they are because they are born with the shell. So that's it. They live with the shell for their entire life. And lastly, armadillo is known as a mammal live in solitude or isolation, which I refer to the state of being or living alone, which is the very ideal reason for a social distancing. Can you relate why I choose armadillo, right?
Okay.
You can
I
see
can
it's
I
related.
can see the strong relation between the
Yeah.
nuclear study, the concepts, the features of the armadillo. That is really nice.
Thanks.
as as a human, as a mammal, and as our condition right now, social distancing. For the precedent study, I did some precedent study on the form of armadillo shell and look up to the architecture of a building which have similar forms like Sydney Opera House or Armadillo Green Tea House and others which I didn't remember or know their names of. I mostly look up of the ideation from the Pinterest, and most of them have a stairgate but layered roof or maybe a wall. It also works as a mean of natural ventilation um, at the between of each opening of the layered wall. Back we back to the ideation armadillo. This part will be this stairgate but layered part will be their bend on their shell, which allow them to roll and curve into a ball, or maybe walk and move their body muscles. And most of the designs take up to 4 or 5 of armadillo's band to integrate it in their design, which is layered wall, because it had which is layer and it
Band
also
tu
have
kan,
some gaps within it, so it will
strip
allow the
dekat
natural.
armadillo.
Sorry.
Korang dengar aku sorry. Sorry. Uh, the band is referred to the strip of armadillo's body. In case
Mm.
you don't know.
Yeah, got it.
Lighting coming in, and also for a natural ventilation. For the for the construction material, I would prefer to use plywood because it is easy to work with and especially it's easy to bend.
Mm.
It's, it
That's
is also made of timber, so it will be sustainable. It also strong yet light, which is will make my part durable yet portable. Apart from that, the finishes would be varnish coating with matte finishes. It will be waterproof and it will make the cleaning work easier because we can just swipe it off with wet sponge or something with the maybe the coffee spill on it. And I also prefer to paint it with white so it's easy to spot the dust when the cleaning. So when we do cleaning, it will be top notch. In this design, it has some main components that need to be thought of. And firstly is a chair. What I needed is a gaming chair. It is
mm.
ergonomic and can give us comfort to our
A
big
gamer.
age. It can also
Sorry.
adjust to the angle so we could have a proper lean back. And we also have a padded cushion to secure your comfy. So, but the most important is it's designed for a gamer. I'm not a real gamer, but I do play games a lot. This chair is meant for a long time sitting use, which I think is a perfect office use as well. I didn't, well, people didn't usually have a big age because people usually have big age because they used to sit 90 degrees for a long period without moving. Well, this sucks. And this chair is the answer for all the sitting problem. At least I can change my sitting posture anytime I want without limit as it is adjustable. The color is striking too, which for me is attractive yet quite elegant. And secondly, it's the drafting table. The drafting table needed to be adjustable both the height and the angle of the table. It will also need to have some drawer to put some stuff in it, so like markers, paper, and also it should have some space or holder to hold my T square, so I won't be losing them. The angle should be adjustable from 90 degrees up to 180 degrees, so that I can enjoy drawing while the table is fixed as my arm angle. The size is the standard size for drafting table, which can fit the size of a A0 paper. And thirdly is a short white shelf. I needed the white top. The white top can be used as a coffee table or a place where I can place my bag, or books, water heater, laptop, and everything. Inside the shelf, might as well put all my architecture stuff in it. So this also works as my laptop table. So be flexible. Right, we can save more spaces and we can use them more efficiently. we move on to the next slide, which is
Boards. I was
board
waiting for them.
and presentation drawing. So this is my presentation board. I like green and blue, so I pick a theme color greenish blue, which is turquoise for my board. It's also an A0 size board. The upper board consists of information such as introduction, case study, ideation, furniture, details, and interior design, which I drew in one point perspective, also design process, and lastly, concept. As for the design process, which is on the top right of the corner, it starts with the derivation shape of armadillo shell, which at first looked like a semicircle, then it evolved it into a cut, uh, a portion cut of a cake, like a cake, a cutted cake on a piece of
Slice it. Mhm.
on the plate. So the lower part of the a piece of
If she presented the design process earlier, it would have been much better. So that now I get the image of the form, the design. If she could, yeah, add it earlier, would have, made it easier for us. But yeah, overall, yeah, I get the image. It's good.
on the plate. So the lower part of the board consists of drawing details such as roof plan, elevation, and section. As you can see, the only entrance from the side is from the side next to the table. How can I go in? You need to adjust the table to 180 degree first, and then you can slip through the gap at the next side of the table. That's why I told you it's a space meant for only one person at a time. So that you can have a personal space, and you can also see the position of
But how, um, when you adjust the table to 180 degrees, do you tilt it first to enter, or?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The
Because
table. No, no,
mhm,
no. No, no, no.
because
Just
this.
continue the
chair
presentation.
and short shelf from the section drawing. Chair is right behind the table, and the shelf is behind the chair. So there is also some opening from the wall, which I made it jagged, and also some opening from the wall itself. I made a little window like a frame. I took it from the fact that the shell is a part of armadillo bone structure. Bone structure is also a bare frame of the body, so not to mention that I want to allow more natural ventilation and air inside the point, so I won't be suffocated. When I want more privacy, I can just turn.
I can't hear anything.
Sorry?
Oh, I can't hear anything. Can you play it now?
Oh,
Maybe.
can you hear it
No,
now?
I still don't hear it.
Do the rest hear it? How about the rest? How is
No,
this?
I can't.
You can't.
No.
That's weird. Hmm.
What's my
Oh, okay. I think
From this this this
now.
is
All
my
right.
Okay, okay.
mock-up model for the design process. As you can see, how the shape derived from, and the next is the model I crafted to present my design of the studio bed, in which is in different angle. You can see the detail of the table, which can adjust which the angle can be adjusted. The chair also can do a 360 degree speed, and it can move. And I think that's the end of my presentation. Hope you like my design and
Thank
have a nice
you.
day. Sayonara.
Thank you, Ilya. All right.
Uh,
Comments. Let's review our friend. Okay. I have a question. The Since Ilya's with us today, the one we are reviewing, so
no,
we can
no,
ask
she's
her and get the direct
presenting.
answers.
A lot of humor.
Yeah. For the put, everything was very well explained, and I like your body language, how you speak your mind and your heart. You're not like reading from something or making it boring or anything like that. So it was really good presentation. Um, but I think maybe if you added the boards at the beginning, for example, the design process, it was very well explained, so informative. Like that animal, armadillo, something. I really loved how you connected the points between the necklace study, the issue, and the ideation, the concept. Everything was very well connected and related. Um, but when I saw the design process and the models, I had the thought that it might be retractable since it's like shells. So I thought it's retractable. Um, but also I realized in the model, the chair, like the height of the chair is just
Yeah.
like, is it
It
designed
can
like
be
that
moved
or?
in the. It can be moved in the inside the port because the space is cramped. It's
Okay,
cramped.
okay. Mm-hmm.
I
But
think
how
yes,
about
like instead the height of the chair can be shorter.
mhm.
Or
How
like,
about the shelf is behind the chair, right? That
yeah,
semicircle. Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay. How about the coffee table, the small coffee table you wanted to put in the pod?
I put I put it two in one. The shelf is quite high,
Oh,
so
okay, okay. So no, okay,
it's like
nice,
the
nice.
table. So,
I see. That's really great work.
okay.
Others?
I
Okay, for me, the shape of the studio pod is like the armadillo, the the shape, uh, the layer of
Mm-mm-mm.
the triangle shape, like the armadillo. And during the STEM, I look the studio pod by uh, for the real, not the image. Uh, I can see that the table and the chair is very nice.
Yes, yes.
How
Innovative,
how
like
she
how she
construct.
designed that, I
Yeah.
wonder. How long did it take you to design that chair? That's really
uh,
awesome.
about 2 days.
2 days, wow. But you did a good job.
Yeah,
And
Overall,
about
we
the
did a
my
great
room
presentation,
job.
is
I
messy that one.
What for me?
okay for the presentation, I think it's very good because we can see that she is very energetic from the
Yes,
beginning and
right.
to
Yeah.
to
And
the end.
she's spreading those facts, which is not making it like, tedious or something.
Yeah.
Great, Ilya.
Thanks. This
Any
is a
further?
crit
Well,
session.
Yes, crit session, take notes, Ilya. I mean, like all of us must take note. So, any further comments? If no further comments, we can end our review here.
Bella want to say something.
Oh, Bella, yes, sure, go ahead.
Huh?
Yes, Bella.
Bella, come on, Bella.
No, no, I have nothing to say.
Okay, how about Lukman? Anything to add?
I think the presentation, her presentation is just perfect. There's no flaw.
I
She is
agree.
such
Wow.
she is a
Eh,
strong
Ninin,
to make her confident,
Right,
and I
yes, yes,
that
this is
self-confidence.
not sweet
yes,
talking, right?
really,
No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
We're being honest. Yeah, so yeah, I think she did a great job. Thank you, Ilya, and thank you everyone for your comments. I think we can end the review here. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.